to the advice of the president, since he's working directly and reporting to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. I want to add my voice by suggesting that he should put in more effort so that the bank will be decentralized to our various constituencies. At least it will make it accessible to our women, rather than all of them running to a central spot where, bureaucracy will kill that dream. A central spot where, I urge him, a central spot where, support this house, since he's a member of this house. A central spot where, on that line, I advocating that we need it in our constituencies. Support this house, since he's a member of this house. I will. On that line, then to my regional minister, that we need designate Honorable Linda Obiniwa Akwele Oklu. I want to express my thanksgiving to the vetting committee for at least appreciating her conduct over the years and then giving her that beautiful reward. But to add, my dear sister, you know the challenges I am facing in my constituency in Sege with the issues of the Songo Lagoon. Once you are approved, please come to our aid. And I am saying this, I'm sure my sister, my leader, Honorable Doyo, is also listening. Then to the Minister Designate for Works, Housing and Water Resources. Please, majority of my main communities are washed off by the sea erosion. Notable among them Aklabanya, Anyamam, Goy, Lolonya. And I'm happy with the answer he gave on funding. He said alternative funding will be looked for. I pray it is not just the words, but it will really be done to allay the fears of my people. Sometimes they go to bed, in the next morning, their houses are flooded. I want to believe that this statement from my minister on alternative funding will be adhered to, so that we, the people of Sege, which is a coastal community and a constituency, can go to bed knowing that the next morning we will still be alive. With these few words, I encourage the House to approve the nominees to their respective ministries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. Let me now turn to Equiapem North.
Mr. Speaker, just as other colleagues have stated, I would like to associate myself fully on the recommendation and also urging the House to approve His Excellency the President's nominees, as they've been also duly vetted. However, I would like to also, in furtherance of that, when I take the report, 4.0 speaks of the name Honorable Emmanuel Kojo Ajekum, and then 4.1 says Emmanuel Kojo Ajekum. I'm sure since it's a house of records, maybe we may have to correct that. Secondly, and much more importantly, he is also to oversee the implementation of the green transition as part of his schedule. So, Speaker, along the line, I'm sure the presidency and that of government may have to also bring clarity as to which of these ministries or appointees who have to oversee this implementation of the green transition. I'm saying this with respect to the fact that if you take the Ministry for Energy, it's now Ministry for Energy and Green Transition. Secondly, you have a Minister of State in charge of special initiatives with a schedule also to oversee the implementation of a green transition. The United Nations Conference of Parties, post-2020, I think at COP27 at Sharm el-Sheikh, they designated the Environmental Protection Agency as the focal agency to also implement Ghana's green transition. It was also at this particular conference that Ghana also launched the National Energy Transition Policy. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm bringing this to the attention of the House so that subsequently we can have clarity as to which of these agencies, which of these ministries is properly going to address this transition into this green energy that we're talking about. Else, at a point in time, you may have members filing questions and we may not know which exactly, or which of the agencies or the ministries that we want them to address these matters appropriately. However, I believe that these nominees have distinguished themselves well, and I'll urge the House to also approve them accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Samuel Oku. Yes, I'll take the last person, which is Honorable Fisher Jane.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to congratulate my dear friend, Honorable Linda Okru, and Emmanuel, my own brother Emmanuel Kojo Ajikum, and my brother Kenneth Ejay. Mr. Speaker, I am beyond happy on their appointment as Greater Accra Minister. Mr. Speaker, my own brother, Honorable Emmanuel Kojo Ajikum, is a brother and a friend. We come from the same region. I know him very well. And then I remember when he used to be, yes, very well, because he's my brother. I remember when he used to be a local government, the things that he did over there, that really, really, really very good and helpful. And my friend Linda was my friend and colleague, 7th Parliament. We are all here together, and I know her very well. We share one committee together, a gender committee. So I know her, and I know that she's very capable of doing or becoming a very good minister at the Greater Accra. Mr. Speaker, I am so happy, and I'm beyond happy on the appointment and state in charge of special initiative especially. This is a testament to your head of state in charge of the resetting agenda. Yes, Mr. Speaker. I know very well that your leadership and vision will, without a doubt, bringing about and bringing positive change and growth to you, your respective professional. I am confident that your expertise and passion will inspire and motivate others to work towards common goals. Once again, Right Honorable Speaker, I congratulate my brother, Honorable Ejikum Linda, and my brother, Kenneth Ejay. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Now, leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I start with the Greater Accra Regional Minister Designate. Mr. Speaker, she had the shortest of vetting time, And my understanding is that she has the capacity to come and deliver. Mr. Speaker, in Greater Accra, there are few issues I thought I should bring to a notice. On the 2nd October 2024, the English Alata chief priest was murdered in cold blood. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, one of the issues that caused or is alleged to have caused the murder of this chief priest is because of chieftaincy dispute. Mr. Speaker, in Greater Accra, there are few of such disputes. And my prayer is that the regional minister designate will bring to bear the competencies she's been able to gain over the period, and to as much as possible support the local government minister, local government and chieftaincy minister, resolve most of these problems which are pending. Mr. Speaker, in Greater Accra, we also have a lot of land litigations. Honorable Majority Chief Whip Roxinda Fiamekpo will bear testimony to this. And Mr. Speaker, if a tenure is going to be an exciting one of the things you would have to do as chairperson of RECSEC is also to ensure that an authority is fully invoked on how to deal with matters of land litigation in Greater Accra and land guardism. Mr. Speaker, finally, on the issue of sanitation, most of the municipal and metropolitan and district assemblies will need to have the collaboration of the regional minister to rid the city, especially Accra, rid it of filth and squalor, which we are so overwhelmed with. Mr. Speaker, my prayer is that the Honorable Minister, when fully approved by this venerable House, would be in motion to take care of all these problems I have enumerated. Mr. Speaker, the nominee on Works and Housing and Water Resources. In my constituency, Wejagbawi, we have a major problem with reference to the threat of Ghana Water to pull down structures of people living around the Weja Dam. Mr. Speaker, our prayer is that during yesterday's vetting, we saw is that the minister designate is very calm, very responsive. He showed prowess of a caring person. And our prayer really is that he will show care to the people within the precincts that we have discussed. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the Minister of State in charge of special initiatives, he excelled during the vetting. He showed a lot of composure. He also showed that he is a man for the job. And like my senior colleague earlier stated, he showed the features of a utility player. We pray that all these men and women of high repute, when this House gives them the final approval, they would go and show to the Ghanaian people that they are really ready and willing to serve them. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Honorable, are you going to speak? Oh, anyway, let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to add my voice to the motion moved by our able chairperson for the vetting committee. Mr. Speaker, I will start from home. Honorable Linda Akwele Okru, that's the Minister Designate for Greater Accra. Mr. Speaker, she is a woman of few words, but action woman. Nobody should underrate her. She is going to deliver. I have been with her in Greater Accra. She's part of the Women Caucus. And when you speak about action and you bypass Linda Oklu, then you miss your way. Mr. Speaker, this is a woman who is quick to act, but she doesn't talk too much. And these are the people we are looking for, that he will give us what we want, but he won't speak too much. She won't speak too much. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Works and Housing also told us a lot of things that he is coming to do for us. But as my brother from Sege said, we have a lot of problems when it comes to sea erosion. Azizakwe, Kewuno, Pediatokope, all the rest, there is a bigger problem there. So for him, we will just give him accommodation in Adan, in between Adan and Sege, so that he can focus and work in those areas, so that we will have, those in those areas will have their freedom. Mr. Speaker, Emmanuel Kojo Jekum spoke about, he is a minister designate for special initiative. Others want to know what initiatives he is going to work on. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama have a lot of initiatives, and he's going to surprise Ghanaians. That's why he has been asked to come and work on that. So Ghanaians should have hope in these ministers and pray for them. And I know a lot of them, they are not going to talk too much, but they will deliver. So we pray for them so that they can succeed and deliver for Ghanaians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. At the conclusion of the debate, I'll put the question, and the question is: all those in favor of the motion listed 11. Yes, I'm putting the question. Honorable members, all those in favor of the motion listed 11 in today's order paper, say aye. Aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, it is obvious the ayes have it. The motion is hereby adopted. And that this honorable House has approved His Excellency the President's nomination of Honorable Emmanuel Kojo Ejekum as Minister of State Designate for Special Initiatives. Honorable Linda Obenewa Akwele Okru as Minister Designate for Greater Accra Region. And Honorable Kenneth Gilbert Ejane as Minister Designate for Works, Housing, and Water Resources. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, let me extend our congratulations to our colleagues. We pray that they will make us proud. Yes, Honorable Chairman for Appointment Committee.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to, on behalf of Honorable Emmanuel Kojo Ejekum, Honorable Linda Niwa Akwele Oklu and Mr. Kenneth Gilbert Ajay to unanimously recommend to the House and the House approving them. Mr. Speaker, I'm so grateful.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me invite you again, Honorable Chairman of the committee.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I tend to move the motion numbered 8 on page 2 of today's order paper, that notwithstanding the provision of Order 10 1 of standing orders which that and at least 2 sitting days elapsed after the notice to move the motion is given, the motion for the adoption of the 7th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as ministers may be moved today. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Patrick Boama.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, the motion listed 8 has been moved by the chairman of the committee and seconded by Honorable Patrick Boama. This motion is procedural, so I'll go ahead to put the question. All those in favor of the motion listed 8 in today's order paper, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Chairman, let's take the substantive motion. Motion 9.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I then take the consequential motion numbered 9 at page 3 of today's order paper, that this Honorable House adopts the 7th report of the Appointment Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as ministers. Right, Honorable Speaker, in doing so, I present your committee's report. So, Speaker, the 7th report of the committee is recommending by consensus the approval of Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa as Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Tia Ibrahim as Minister for Northeast Region, Dr. Frank Amokohini as Minister for Ashanti Region, and Mr. Akamugri Atanga Donatus as Minister for Upper East Region. Mr. Speaker, at the vetting, salient questions were posed to them, answers were respectively provided, and Mr. Speaker, I urge the Hansa Department to capture the 61-page report as having been read, as I proceed to read the conclusion of the report. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Article 78(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and Standing Order 217, the committee considered the nominations made by His Excellency the President. The nominees demonstrated competence, knowledge, and expertise on matters relating to their respective ministries. The committee therefore recommends to the House by consensus the adoption of each report and the approval of the nominee. Similarly, by a consensus. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Yes, Honorable Patrick.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion for the adoption of the 7th report of the Appointments Committee on His Excellency the President's nomination for the appointment as ministers for lands and natural resources, the Northeast region, the Ashanti regions, and the Upper East regions. Mr. Speaker, I'll begin with the regional minister nominees. that we listened to the nominee for the Ashanti region, very eloquent Dr. Mwakohene, a medical doctor. He clearly understood the issues in the region, very affable, and we wish him the very best. On the nominee for Upper East, he distinguished himself at the committee, showing his knowledge of the region, his activism in the NDC party, having served as the longest regional secretary or regional officer in the party from the age of 27 to date. He's still a member of the functional executive of the National Democratic Congress. You could tell around the table that all the MPs from the Upper East were there to lend their support to the nominee. And I believe that his promise to tackle the Zoko to Burkina road during his tenure will be realized. Thirdly is the nominee for the Northeast region, who was accompanied by our own colleague, former MP for Yabga Kubori, Honorable Tanko, to lend the support of the entire region. We made him to believe that the region is a split region. There are issues there that ought to be addressed, Mr. Speaker, especially the conflict between that belt and the Upper East region. He promised that he would cooperate with his colleague from the Upper East region to mount the necessary surveillance and barriers on that very important corridor to ensure that property and lives are protected. Our own Honorable Ama Kofi Boa,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, with respect, I will humbly plead with you, Mr. Speaker, that there are certain matters to be ironed out to ensure some tidiness in respect of my respected colleague who was formerly in leadership, Honorable Ama Kofi Boa. There was a certain understanding of between myself and the chair. I was supposed to see the final report. I wouldn't want to stall the process, but I would plead with you that whilst we make the contributions, we get into, I would engage him to be sure that what we did is what exactly we have here. Because there was, under normal circumstances, upon completion of that exercise, I was supposed to at least see, Mr. Speaker, I hold the torch for my caucus. And all of us here know that beyond this chamber, we have the party that takes decisions. I do not want to be seen as having disobeyed party orders. So I would want us to place that of Honorable Ama Kofi Boa on ice so that we resolve. I'm ready to see to it that we resolve that one so that we would proceed. And I will be sincere with you once I'm satisfied that what was agreed upon is exactly what has been captured. So we take it. I'm not here to stall anybody's approval process, but I must be sure that what has been agreed has been done. In all fairness, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Well, honorable members, hold on. Let Honorable Yabuama finish with the secondment. Then, so Honorable Patrick Buama,
Mr. Speaker,
Just go ahead
I'll conclude,
Yeah, conclude.
subject to the
Yes, sir.
discussions that is ongoing,
Very
and
well.
ask for the House to adopt the report of the Appointments Committee on the 3 nominees that we don't have issues with. I beg to second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is now before the House. We will take the contributions subject to the ironing out of the committee. Then afterwards, you will put the question. So, Chairman, have you?
Right, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa was vetted, and the following day, there was an indication that our report should be a majority report. And same has been communicated to the clerk of the committee. And indeed, the clerk of the committee has done a majority report. Right, Honorable Speaker, Parliament is a house where we judge and reach a consensus. So, Mr. Speaker, after deliberation, a consensus has been reached. I was informed that there was an issue of remorse based on which the report was agreed to be a majority report. And based on that remorse being shown, it is now unanimously agreed that we should recommend as such to the House for all of them to be unanimously approved by the House. Mr. Speaker, it is in that spirit that I sought your leave to allow me to move the 8th report before coming to the 7th report. This is to enable the indication in the report to be changed to a report of consensus instead of a report of a majority. So, Mr. Speaker, I do not know what really is the difficulty, what again is expected from the nominee, our own colleague, our own former deputy minority leader, deputy majority leader, now a minister designate, to hold a position of lands and natural resources. Mr. Speaker, this was what really happened from the committee's point of view. So, Mr. Speaker, if the indication is that something is supposed to be captured in the report which ought not to be captured, which has not been captured, Mr. Speaker, we are amenable, we are masters of our own rule, we can make those amendments to the report and then proceed to take the report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Very well. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, when you're dealing with gentlemen, you don't have to sleep with your eyes open. Truly, let me state for the record that the leader of the House, a gentleman as he is, and the chair of the committee, my respected tribesman and brother, the gentleman as he is, indeed, reading the report, the essence of the discussion is properly couched. I have therefore no hesitation at all in going by what has been said. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa made certain comments against His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when we had the SONA. And the understanding was that indeed it was very, very much in a bad taste. We shouldn't be doing this to our president, and that there must be decorum and proper use of language, especially on ceremonial occasions. And in ceremonial occasions, we need not introduce debate and bring in unnecessary acrimony. He then agreed to retract and apologize, and same has been captured in the record. Having apologized, having retracted, we can't stretch the matter. We're no more going to subject him to a ballot, a secret ballot voting. We have therefore withdrawn the initial intention to proceed by secret ballot and to support the report to be taken through by consensus. Mr. Speaker, that said, I think that it's only fair that we let matters have a peaceful rest. So thank you. And I thank the majority leader and then the first deputy speaker for working around the clock for us to bring peace on this matter. Thank you so much, my respected colleagues.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again. So, honorable members, as I said, the motion is before the House. I will invite two contributors from each side. Two. I will first and foremost invite Honorable Adams Abdul Salam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the nominees to their various ministries. Mr. Speaker, I think the most sensitive ministry amongst this batch of nominees is the ministry that will be headed by the Honorable Amaku Fibua. Mr. Speaker, there's no doubt that he is capable of handling a ministry like this, but one of the issues that would confront him is the issue of illegal mining. And Mr. Speaker, the destruction of our water bodies. Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, the Ofen River, River Brim, and the River Pra ran through my constituency. And Mr. Speaker, these rivers used to be sources of livelihoods for the communities along, these rivers. Mr. Speaker, these rivers, as we speak, have been heavily decimated. And Mr. Speaker, this senseless destruction of our rivers definitely had to stop. And I'm sure the minister would take the issues of illegal mining and especially mining in our water bodies very seriously so that we can curb the destruction of our water bodies. Mr. Speaker, the Ashanti Regional Minister was by far the star of this vetting. Mr. Speaker, he was composed, and if you take into consideration his age and having been appointed as a regional minister, Mr. Speaker, he was definitely, he definitely demonstrated a clear understanding of the region that he's going to head. And Mr. Speaker, one of the issues that came up at the vetting that he said he had no ideas or didn't have full facts that I will be visiting him to discuss with is the construction of the new Edubiase Sports Stadium that has stalled for 8 years. And Mr. Speaker, I'm sure together we'll be able to find ways and resources to complete this stadium so that it serves the purposes that it was intended for. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to once again congratulate the nominees and especially the Ashanti Regional Minister. Mr. Speaker, he's only 34. And you would think that regional ministers are reserved for older generation of politicians. And this also reaffirms President Mahama's commitment to ensuring that he gives younger politicians the opportunity to serve, even as regional ministers. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, a lot of young men in our political space will see Dr. Frank Amwakwehene and think that their dreams in politics and the aspirations in politics are valid. Mr. Speaker, so I would like to thank the President for believing in young men and women in our party, and I'm sure some of these, we will see more of these appointments in the near future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable John Darko.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to comment on the President's nominee for Minister for Ashanti Region, Upper East and Northeast, and for Natural Resources. Mr. Speaker, I had the opportunity to listen to the nominees when they appeared before the vetting committee. Mr. Speaker, when it came to the ministers for Upper East, Ashanti Region, and the Great Northeast, they answered their questions very nicely. I believe the jury is still out there on whether or not they addressed all the issues. But, Mr. Speaker, when it came to the Honorable Ama Kofi Bua, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable member, when he was asked about how he was going to handle the Obuase clashes, Honorable Ama Kofi Bua prevaricated. When he was asked on how he's going to help, especially the military, he's going to order the military to help with the fight against Galamsey, Honorable Ama Kofi Bua, in my opinion, was very evasive. Mr. Speaker, when he came as to the question on whether he will apologize for his respectful comments towards the president, the former president of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. Speaker, in my view, the honorable member didn't apologize enough. But leadership has said that the member apologized. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the purpose of vetting, the purpose of Parliament's advice and consent is to ensure that the President's nominees appear candid and they are vetted so that we know the kind of people who are going to the ministries. Mr. Speaker, from the hearing, from the vetting process, Honorable Ama Kofi Bua, in my view, did not do justice to the question. And so, Mr. Speaker, I believe that when all is said and done, the proper apology must be given to the former president. And on that, Mr. Speaker, I yield the floor.
Yes. Let me turn to Honorable Simon Awoligo. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise to contribute in support of the report that's before this House. On the four nominees, the Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Amabua is a long-standing member of this House, a former deputy minority leader, a former deputy majority leader, a member for Elembele. Mr. Speaker, his abilities, his competence is well known in this House. When he appeared before the committee, he expressed himself very well and demonstrated capacity to be able to handle the ministry that he's been assigned to. I have no doubt that he will do a great work. He will handle the land issues that confront our country today. He will handle the mining issues that confront our country today. He's well chosen, and I recommend that this House approves of him. The Minister for the Northeast region, Mr. Atia Ibrahim acquitted himself very well when he appeared before the vetting committee, the appointments committee, and I am very sure that he will do a very good work. His Excellency President John Mahama has chosen him very well, and he will do very well. But of Mr. Amwakohene, the Minister for Ashanti Region, young man, somebody young people can look up to, who did very, very well at the vetting. I am of hope that he will bring change to the region. But of more importance to me is my regional minister, to be, if this House approves him. He is someone who served, as everyone in this House has said, longest as an executive of the NDC. He has excellent knowledge of the region. He has very good interpersonal relationship with the people. I have a very good relationship with him, and I know all the MPs have very good relationship with him, and that was the reason why they were all at his vetting. Mr. Speaker, I know he will solve most of the issues that are in the region, if not all of them. I wish to recommend to this House that the President's nominees are approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me give Shirley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the reports, the 7th report by the Vetting Committee. Mr. Speaker, I would like to first of all congratulate all the nominees, but most importantly, I would like to congratulate Honorable Amakofi-Boa. And I was very impressed with the caliber of people that accompanied him to his vetting. Notable amongst them was Nana Kobna Nketia of Esikado Paramountcy, and then other prominent chiefs from the Western region. The message was loud and clear. It showed that the region was solidly behind him, and rightly so, because he's exemplified himself and distinguished himself in all the roles that he's been given, first as Deputy Minister for Energy and then Substantive Minister for Energy. I was keenly following his proposal for decentralizing the licensing regime, one that he thought we need to streamline to include chiefs and other opinion leaders in the community. I think this has given a sense of responsibility to the local people and our traditional rulers who have been yearning for this for a while. I believe that this will help the local people to hold their leaders accountable for their local economy and environment. It will also make it difficult for the local people not to be responsible for illegal mining menace that goes on in their communities. This initiative is novel and innovative, and is one that I will be keenly following. On the part of the Ashanti Regional Minister nominee, he is a youth, and I believe that the youth of the country is looking up to him to succeed. It's imperative that he knows that his success will open the door for the other youth in this country. And so we are all rooting and hoping that he succeeds in his new role. There's one thing that I want him to come or bring to bear in his leadership. Ashanti region has a lot of MPP MPs. I pray and urge him to come to his role with an open heart. He should come devoid of partisan considerations. He should make sure that he consults and collaborates so that we can all make Ashanti great. And with that, I believe he also knows the tensions that go on between MMDCs and MPs. I urge the honorable nominee to come with the energy that he claims he campaigned for his party with, and stay focused and try to diffuse some of these tensions. For after all, he should remember that the development of Ashanti is paramount, and he should never negate that fact. With these few words, I congratulate the other nominees and wish them well in their various roles. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. The ladies. So the lady spoke, And you, the ladies, were saying, yeah. I'll come to you. Anyway, I'm compelled to abandon the list that has been given to me and give it to Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I can assure you it's a very short one. It's just to add my voice to congratulate all the minister designates, but I have to make special mention of the Honorable Minister for Asante Region. I followed the after vetting commentaries, and I think the whole of Ghana is on the same page regarding his performance and his ability to hold the Asante region. I met him for the first time in 2019 after we successfully won our primaries, and he left a huge impression on me. So I was not surprised at the verdict that came after his vetting. I'm hoping and praying that he will use the same energy, the same temperament, the same level of intelligence to run the Asante region, make it a place where everyone can see comfort, and also work together with the MMDCs and the traditional authorities to improve the lot of the people of Asante region. I say congratulations to Dr. Frank Amwakuhine, and I say congratulations to all the other designated ministers. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let me now come to leadership. Leadership, yes.
Well, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to the report. Mr. Speaker, this report, by consensus, is inviting this plenary to adopt the report and to enable the nominees take their oath to start work. Mr. Speaker, so far this House has done well in expediting the approval process. We are waiting on Mr. President to also ensure that the rest of the nominees are brought for us to consider. It's delaying. There are members who are very anxious to be nominated. Mr. Speaker, so far we have seen fewer women being considered. We still have very senior members who are female on the side of the majority. Mr. Speaker, Hajia Ladi Ayamba, we have not heard her name yet. Honorable Zenato Ajiman Rollins, the founder's daughter, the founder's daughter is yet to be mentioned. Honorable Adongo, his name is yet to be mentioned. Honorable Ramadan, his name is yet to be mentioned. Mr. Speaker, there are prominent names from the Volta region. There are prominent names from the Volta region that are yet to be mentioned. Mr. Speaker, we are very anxious. We are very anxious to receive all these names. Mr. Speaker, there are new female MPs who are anxious to have an opportunity to serve in government. Mr. Speaker, the respected professor from Esikado Mr. Speaker, she is a prominent surgeon who has made it into this chamber. We are here to hear her name, Professor Grace Ayensu. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Bejira, a very senior member from the Volta region. Mr. Speaker, is the president being discriminatory? Without. We know he's not. But we are reminding Mr. President that we have great talent in this house. We have great talents that are yet to be considered. Mr. Speaker, are we just the minority just counted the majority? Without our numbers, you won't be able to take this motion. No, we are just reminding you that you have a lot of empty seats. We have counted you. You need ours to add up. So after all, what has become of your mighty, your super majority? This is your so-called super majority. What shall it benefit an NDC super majority when in critical moments its super majority will rely on the minority? So on this occasion, Mr. Speaker, on this occasion, it is clear that the super majority, the mighty minority. Mr. Speaker, we will support them with our mighty minority. We will support you because you need to form your government. Mr. Speaker, the beauty of our democracy is when we are bold to concede when we realize we've erred. Honorable Ama Kofi Boah has earned my respect. We all slip. We all make mistakes. In our public commentary, sometimes when we see the party full soldiers, we want to prove to them that we are the champions. Sometimes we don't want to be ourselves. We don't want to be the gentlemen and ladies that we've trained ourselves to be. We want to please our base. In the process, there are things that we do that when we reflect, we realize that no, this one is not the man I am. So I'm happy that my respected colleague has rendered an unqualified apology to His Excellency, the former president. We wish him well. He previously served as a minister of energy. We know his track record in public service. The other nominees, especially my colleague from Greater Accra, she came with a whole support base from both MPP and NDC. So it tells us that she is able to cross the aisle to get support from the other side. This afternoon, some media houses were criticizing the parliament for not vetting, not asking her questions. And you know, what is our defense? Our defense is that we know her as our colleague. We believe that we don't necessarily need to take her through another grilling because we know she can deliver. So, Mr. Speaker, without more, let me add my voice one more time to the call on the chair of the committee for us as a plenary to approve this report by consensus. I so submit and rest my case. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, leader of the minority side. The mighty minority. Honorable members, I'll put the question. At the conclusion of the debate, the question is all those in favor of the motion listed
Mr. Speaker, do they acknowledge? Let me do a little politics. It's part of it. Mr. Speaker, do they acknowledge that as their numbers stand now, without us, Mr. Speaker, do they acknowledge that with all the empty seats, without us, they cannot pass this? Do they acknowledge?
Honourable members, please let me put my question.
Please put your question.
Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is all those in favour of the motion listed 9 in today's order paper, say aye. Aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, it's obvious the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Honourable members, this House has therefore approved His Excellency the President nomination of Honourable Emmanuel Ama Kufibua as Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources. Honourable Tia Ibrahim as Minister Designate for Northeast Region, Dr. Frank Amoakohene as Minister Designate for Ashanti Region, and Honorable Akamugri Atanga Donatus as Minister Designate for Upper East Region. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, let me extend our congratulations to the newly approved ministers of state. We wish them well. Chairman.
Right, Honorable Speaker, we have the order paper addendum. If it is the pleasure of the House, then we take the item numbered 1.
Honorable Chairman, I think we haven't laid.
Presentation of papers.
Oh, okay.
That's the laying.
Okay. Yes, table.
9th report of the Appointments Committee on His Excellency the President's nominations for appointment as ministers.
Yes, honourable members.
Mr. Speaker, they can only lay the report. They don't have the numbers to proceed further. They can only lay.
The report has been laid.
Yes.
And they are to be distributed to honourable members.
They should make sure every member gets a copy.
Mr. Speaker, he should remember that now we have electronic copies. It would be on the screen.
Mr. Speaker, now the majority leader is dealing with semantics. It is not there. We don't have the electronic copy. They are now distributing. So that should be made known. Yes.
The pressure of the House now. Can we suspend for some few minutes?
We will adjourn to tomorrow morning.
We shall adjourn.
Yes, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Honourable members, the pressure of the House is to adjourn the House to tomorrow. Is it 10 or 12? To tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon.
Midday.
Tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Honourable members, the House stands adjourned.
However, I wish to remind the House that in the 8th Parliament, this same conversation was had on the floor, leading to you, Mr. Speaker, who was in the chair on that day, to instruct that a committee be formed for a similar tax. Mr. Speaker,